Yeah, 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 yeah. Watch how I set this whole entire world afire, taking my status much further and much way higher. Fueled by a burning and very deep intense desire, electric energy running through every single thin copper wire. Driving through neon lights inside this thick purple haze, navigating through this complex and very dark mental maze. Everyone watching me while caught in a silent gaze, setting the standards for this brand new modern phase. We'll be making my mark in every way, chasing the ghosts until they finally all fade away. Nobody told me that life was just some play, built in a kingdom that is truly here to stay. Ticking away like the gears of a golden clock, built from the bottom on a solid, heavy rock, giving the system a sudden and very loud shock, locking the doors on every single city street block. Racing my engine and feeling that very hot heat, leaving my rivals behind on this dusty old street, making the victory taste so incredibly and purely sweet, never accepting the bitter and cold taste of defeat. Every single diamond is a very distinct bright shine, walking across the very thin and dangerous tight line, pouring the vintage and very expensive dark red wine. Everything happening now is following a grand divine design, playing the levels of this very dangerous high game. Everyone knows the power behind my very own name, burning the bridge with a massive and wild flame, animal spirits that nobody can ever really quite tame. Wearing the chains of the heavy and solid gold, writing the stories that have never been truly told, acting in ways that are very brave and bold, feeling the winter becoming so incredibly and very cold. Keeping my eyes on the very bright morning sun, never stopping until the very hard work is done, having a lot of some really exciting wild fun, racing the track until the very final long run, paying the toll and the very heavy steep price, looking so cool like a cube of frozen ice, gambling it all on a roll of the dice, never thinking about the same bad old mistake twice, watching the rhythm and the very steady smooth flow, letting the internal power and the spirit truly glow, putting on a very massive and spectacular stage show, ready to move and finally just let it go, holding the steering wheel very steady and quite tight, flying away on a very long and lonely flight, shining through the middle of the very dark night, moving forward with every single ounce of my might, breathing in the fresh and the very cool air, looking at life with a very intense wide stare, dealing with things that are simply just not fair, taking a risk because I truly and really dare, secrets that I will forever and always truly keep, thinking of thoughts that are very profound and deep, working while everyone else is fast and sound sleep, taking a massive and a very large giant leap, counting the stacks of the very green paper cash, moving so fast in a very quick sudden dash, bright lights hitting with the very loud white flash, avoid the drama and the very loud mental crash, screaming the words in a very loud mental crash, moving every single shadow of a very dark doubt, knowing exactly what this life is truly all about, I finding the path and the very best way out. Hearing the bass and the very heavy loud sound, keeping my feet on the very hard solid ground, happiness is something that I finally truly found, upward trajectory because I am very much heaven bound, moving the stick into a very high power gear, conquering every single little bit of my own fear, seeing a vision in the future very quite clear, knowing the victory is finally getting very much near, doing the things that make me feel truly alive, working so hard so that I can finally thrive, taking the keys so that I can finally drive, this is the way that I will truly survive, standing so straight and so incredibly and very tall, breaking down every single thick and heavy brick wall, waiting for the universe to give me the call, never allowing myself to ever stumble or even fall, living my life and moving very incredibly quite fast, forgetting the shadows and the ghosts of the past, having a party in the very large huge blast, making a legacy that will forever and always last, knocking on every single locked and heavy metal door, dancing all night on the very shiny club floor, working and grinding until I cannot take anymore, hearing the crowd and the very loud sudden roar, I I woke up chasing all the golden city lights, my vision staying sharp through all these heavy nights. We're climbing up until we reach the highest heights. No stopping now because we earned our basic rights. Throwing out the old to make some better space. I set the rhythm and I dictate every pace. Looking at the mirror, seeing just a winning face. Winning every single heavy city track, field, sprint, race. Building up the castle on this very solid ground. Looking for the magic that I finally have found. Listen to the rhythm of the heavy city sound. Spinning all the records till the world goes around. Break the ceiling while we living for the gold. Telling stories that had never once been truly told. Watch the future as the silver dusty maps unfold. Staying vibrant even when the winter air gets cold. Keep it moving, keep it jumping in the street. Feel the friction and the heavy pulsing city heat. Never backing down or showing signs of a defeat. Making sure the cycle stays entirely and fully complete. I put the work in every single lonely hour. Growing stronger like a giant concrete blooming urban flower. Claiming every bit of my original and massive power. Building up the dream inside a shiny glass tower. Money talking but I listen to the inner soul. Keeping everything within my own and steady firm control. We're scoring points while aiming for the very final goal. Playing every part, I'm playing every single major role. No more waiting for the word to say hello. Watch me catch the rhythm and the steady flow. Making sure the seeds of my ambition finally grow. Keep the energy and let the inner spirit glow. Every bass is banging loud inside the luxury ride. Feeling all the magic washing in like the tide. No outlet for all the petty fears to hide. Walking through the portal with a light of pride. Digital connection moving fast across the wide blue screen. Living out a movie like a classic Hollywood scene. Staying sharp and staying hungry and so very lean. Keeping all the motives and the vision very clean. I was dreaming while I sat inside the class. Watching all the boring ticking heavy minutes slowly pass. Now I am the one who really hits gas. Shattering the ceiling made of fragile and clear glass. Never playing for the fortune or the shallow fame. Every single person is going to know the name. I am playing hard and winning at the game. Setting all the old and dusty rules on flame. Take a chance and see what you can make. Every single promise is a thing they cannot break. Swimming through the ripples of a very deep lake. Doing what it takes for my own personal sake. High octane fuel is pumping through my heavy veins. I am breaking through the metal of these chains. I am washing out the sorrow with the rains. Counting up the losses in the very heavy game. Looking to the future through a different kind of lens. Making sure I keep a circle of best friends. This is where the old entire story ends. Following the path where the silver river always bends. I am living life upon a very different plane. Working through the struggle and the very heavy pain. Running like a fast and very heavy cargo train. Using every single muscle in my busy clever brain. Valley dripping like the water from the tap. Putting all my brothers on the global city map. I will never fall into the dark heavy trap. Hearing all the people as they start to clap. Catch a flight and head into the west coast. This is not a drill and not a boast. Butter in the bread and eating all the golden toast. I am the one that they really love most. Focus on the vision through the hazy purple smoke. Everything I said was never ever just a joke. I am fixing everything that they had already broke. Feeling like a leader with a very heavy glow. Writing all my lyrics with a very sharp pen. I would do it over and then over again. Counting to the top until I reach the 10. Working in the studio inside my private dark den. Look at how we're flying in the open sky. Spreading out the wings so we can really fly. Never going low because we aim for the high. Saying all the words to a very final goodbye. Final goodbye. I can feel the energy inside my very chest. Putting all the theories to a very final test. I will never stop until I am the best. Finally I find the place where I can rest.